Hello, hello. I think it will take 6 minutes, 6 seconds something. What? There. Okay. Program time 10:30. Invocation. Lighting of lamp by dignitaries.
இருக்குப்பா. It's there. Divya? Divya? The other one bedwa? Hello? Banta, okay. Okay. Sorry, yeah. I wasn't informed. I was waiting for you there. So sorry. Nice meeting you. So I was thinking you'll come there, so I was quite waiting. Miscommunication.
A very good morning to one and all present. I request our head, Dr. Sridevi ma'am, to accompany our chief guest, Miss Jaya Jagdish, country head AMD, onto the dais, and also our COA ma'am.
Nice to see all three ladies.
Yeah, ma'am. Manga ma'am. Today, friends, as you all know, we have gathered to celebrate Foundation Day of CSIR, and we find ourselves standing at the intersection of history and innovation, reflecting on the remarkable journey that has brought us to this point. Now, let's begin the program with lighting of lamp, and I request the dignitaries to please light the lamp. Please. Thank you, ma'am. Now let's go for the invocation. I request Ms. Jeetkala and Nirmala Bai for the invocation, please.
ನಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಮಗೊಲನ ವೈರಿಸುತನಾದ ಸೊಂಡಿಲ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಗಣನಾಥನೇ ಕಣಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ಮೊರೆ ಕಪ್ಪಿನ ಭಾವ ಮೊರದಗಲದ ಕಿವಿ ಕೋರೆದಡೆವನಾರಮ್ಮ ಮೂರು ಕಣ್ಣಿನ ಸುತ ಮುರಿದಿಟ್ಟ ಚಂದ್ರನ ಧೀರತಾ ಗಣನಾಥನೇ ಕಣಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ರಾಶಿ ವಿದ್ಯೆಯ ಬಲ್ಲ ರಮಣಿ ಹಂಬಲನೊಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷಿಗ ನಿವನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ರಾಶಿ ವಿದ್ಯೆಯ ಬಲ್ಲ ರಮಣಿ ಹಂಬಲನೊಲ್ಲ ಭಾಷಿಗ ನಿವನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ಲೇಸಾಗಿ ಜನರ ಸಲಹುವ ಕಾಗಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವದಾಸ ಕಣೆ ಅಮ್ಮಯ್ಯ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹ ನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ಕಮ್ಮಗೋಲನ ವೈರಿಸುತನಾದ ಸೊಂಡಿಲ ಹೆಮ್ಮೆಯ ಗಣನಾಥನೇ ಕಣಮ್ಮ ನಮ್ಮಮ್ಮ ಶಾರದೆ ಉಮಾ ಮಹೇಶ್ವರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹ ನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ ನಿಮ್ಮೊಳಗಿಹ ನ್ಯಾರಮ್ಮ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Thank you, Nirmala and Jitkala, for the melodious invocation on Mata Sharada. CSIR, since its inception, has been at the forefront of scientific discovery and technological advancement, contributing significantly to the progress and development of our nation. Over the years, our institution has not only maintained its legacy of excellence, but has also embraced change and adapted to the evolving needs of society. As we look back, we take pride in the countless milestones and breakthroughs achieved by CSIR. From pioneering research in various fields to the development of cutting-edge technologies, our institution has been a beacon of knowledge, paving the way for a brighter future. May I now request Dr. G.K. Patra, our Chief Scientist, to welcome the August gathering and also introduce our chief guest to CSIR-4PI family members.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of CSIR-4PI Institute, I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Those who have physically have come here and also who have joined online through the YouTube. This is the 82nd CSIR Foundation Day celebration that CSIR-4PI is doing. We had the main Foundation Day celebration at Delhi on 26th of this month, September. So now every lab is doing the Foundation Day celebration. We are delighted to have today Mrs. Jaya Jagdish, the country head, Senior Vice President, Silicon Design Engineering, AMD India, is our chief guest. I request Head CSIR-4PI to present a flower bouquet and invite. It's my great pleasure to introduce the chief guest for today's event. Mrs. Jaya Jagdish is the country head of AMD India. In this role, she is responsible for AMD's R&D work out of the country and for fostering a culture of innovation, inclusive growth, and corporate responsibility at India Development Center. In 2022, she became the first woman senior vice president at AMD from the engineering division. The same year, she was given the mandate to lead AMD in India as the country head. Outside AMD, Jaya closely works with the government as part of the India Semiconductor Mission. In 2022, she was made the chairperson of the Semiconductor Talent Building Committee. She, along with the other industry peers, have been closely working with the government to set goals and targets to make India a semiconductor talent nation. Jaya's first stint with AMD was in Austin in 1994. She joined the company immediately after completing her master's in electrical engineering. She moved from AMD to work with Mentor Graphics as a senior consultant from 1997 to 2000, followed by Analog Devices as a senior design engineer till 2004. After returning to India, she joined AMD in 2005 and was one of the first team members of AMD India's development center at Bangalore. In early 2000, limited engineering design was done in India. She played an instrumental role in shifting this narrative. She built a strong team that today is 500 plus strong and is responsible for designing the very core of AMD CPUs. She hired fresh talents, trained and mentored them. Over the years, she led this team to successfully execute complex programs in AMD's roadmap. It is the testimony to her leadership that many of these employees today occupy senior positions in the company. In 2020, Jaya was bestowed with the Rising Women of Influence Award by Global Semiconductor Alliance. This award recognizes and profiles the next generation women leaders in the semiconductor industry who are rising to top executive roles within their organizations. She is also recipient of 2018 Women Worth Watching For Award by international publications Diversity Journal. The award recognizes global change makers and leaders who have recorded outstanding achievement throughout their career. Jaya did her bachelor's in electronics engineering from BMS College, Bengaluru, and MS in electrical engineering from University of Texas. Ask her about her success as a women leader. She will urge you not to look at her growth from the prism of gender. She envisages a future where there is no such term as women leaders, but just leaders. We also do agree with your views. Now please have a look at the stage today. Please have a look at the stage today. We have 3 leaders in their respective sphere. And this is not by design, it is by nature. So that's where so today she is going to give the Foundation Day lecture on tenets of leadership. I many times wonder what makes a leader. Why Dhoni is a better leader than the god of cricket, Tendulkar. Though by performance Tendulkar is better, but we always feel like Dhoni is a better leader. So let us listen to her. I request her to give the Foundation Day lecture. Thank you.
Black and white.
We have lot of.
Sit and talk or stand and talk?
I think this is better. I'm okay. So I'm audible, I guess. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It's indeed my pleasure and honor to be part of this event to celebrate the Foundation Day of this great institute. And very happy, as we mentioned earlier, to share the stage with 2 other wonderful women. And I see many more women here, which is amazing. Not that I'm here to speak about women, but it's just a big part of who I am. So you really can't ignore that aspect. But very glad to see you all and wonderful to be part of this event. So, I grew up in a family filled with scientists, engineers, and doctors. So science to me is something that's very, very close to my heart, and huge respect for you all, for the work that you do. I'm an engineering graduate, but I almost entered into, pure sciences. Physics was a passion to me, and I really wanted to pursue physics and do my PhD. I had subjects like superconductivity and other things that I was truly excited about. But of course, my family had majority engineers who were very keen on, telling me, hey, how interesting engineering is. And at that impressionable age, I think you kind of sway towards what many others tell you. So no regrets, but, just wanted to make that statement that I do respect scientists a lot. So kudos to what you guys do. So while I was contemplating on what really should be the subject, I'm going and talking to a bunch of scientists, and I come from the corporate sector. So when I was thinking about it, the term leadership kind of came out as an obvious topic. mean, something that's a common thing. I mean, no matter what you are, whether you're a political leader, whether you lead a team of 1,000 members or 2,000, or you're a scientist sitting and doing your innovative work, leadership is hugely important, and it defines, everything that you do. The way I look at leadership is it defines the journey you take to achieve your goals. How you approach a problem, how you take on a challenge, or how you lead your team can be very, very defining to the goals that you're going to accomplish. Because to all of us, journey is as important as your destination. You can't just isolate your journey. It has to be as beautiful as your destination. And that's where leadership truly matters. So a lot has been said in my introduction. I don't want to repeat that, but just want to introduce my family. I do have a family, my husband and 2 children, a daughter and a son. And my husband is also an engineer like me, but I guess, I don't know what we did. We discouraged our kids, I guess, from becoming engineers or choosing engineering as their career choice. Both of them are doctors. My daughter is pursuing her fellowship in hematology oncology at University of Duke, and my son too just finished his MBBS and wants to become an internal medicine doctor. So, and my daughter got married 2 years ago almost, and my son-in-law is also a doctor, so I guess they're like outweighing. We need more engineers in the family now and scientists in the family. But anyway, I mean, that's my family. My husband too is an engineer, a technocrat. Now, he worked with Dell Computers for 20 plus years and now managing some own business. So that's about my family. And, I just want to take a minute to talk about the talent development committee that I was the chairperson for. This is also something that's very close to my heart and means a lot to me. Having come back from US, having spent 14 years there, really wanted to come back for our children. We wanted them to grow up in the culture, understanding how we grew up, and also, spend time with the extended family. So that was one of the reasons. But, the opportunity that was given to me to chair the committee and work with 13 other eminent leaders from industry, academia, and government, and to define what our next generation would be studying, it was something that I felt was an amazing opportunity, and I'm truly grateful for having given this opportunity to give back to my country. So something that I'm absolutely proud of. We did submit a 70-page report with a set of recommendations to strengthen the semiconductor ecosystem, not just in India, but to make India a talent hub for the entire world. So that's the set of recommendations, and now onwards to implementation, a committee has been formed, and we have been involved in making sure it's actually implemented the way we have envisioned. Moving on, I think I've talked enough about why leadership is important. A couple of other aspects. It's really when you define leadership, it's about how you define your goals, how you actually take your team along with you to achieve those goals. And there is a strategy that needs to be drawn up. And there are many other things like schedule, profitability, finance, and there are so many other things that go on in your head. But you can't disconnect your heart from it, because you are dealing with human beings. All of us, we are all emotional beings. We have that connect with each other. It's the humane aspects that make a team from good to better to great, right? So it's leadership is the aspect that really connects your head with your heart. And of course, any tough goal or challenge always comes with difficulties, uncertainties, and you need a good leader to lead the team. Otherwise it's easy to get swayed, easy to get confused and lose track of your goals. So you need that leadership to really get you through these challenges and uncertain times. And having come from the semiconductor industry or even the IT, it's very cyclical in nature. I mean, anything that goes up has to come down. It follows the laws of physics really closely. And you really have to stick to your team. You have to stay with your team, explaining to them, what this means and, how we're going to get back up. So it's hugely important for the leader to play an active role. And innovation, right? Like the work that you all do, research. I mean, no industry can thrive or survive or continue to grow without R&D. The aspect of R&D and innovation is hugely important, so we don't stagnate. We continue to come up with new ideas and implement those ideas into reality. And with good leadership, you always fuel innovation. You always encourage new ideas to be brought in, new ways of doing things. So, enough being said, leadership really matters. Let's move on to some of these are things that I have put together based on my experience. These are some of the aspects that have truly helped me succeed as a leader. So, challenging the status quo, right? If you just accept the way things are done, that's stagnation. But again, there has to be a balance. You can't question everything. You can't rip open everything. You have to respect what is being done. You have to respect the schedule. You have to respect, how you want to get to the goal. But again, if you don't question status quo, you will stagnate. New ideas don't come up. Hey, how can I make this better? It's always something that I try to ingrain within my team, saying, if someone says you cannot, you have to ask why not, right? So that's an obvious question that has to come within. And then that can lead to many innovative, initiatives that you can take on. It's a very similar experience that I've had that many MNCs face. When AMD started in India, this was in 2004, the concept was really to just give some kind of a leftover work. It was more of resource augmentation that they wanted from the engineers here. But, every time I was told, okay, this is enough for India, I was like, why not more, right? If I had not asked that question, and if many other leaders working with me had not asked that question, AMD India would not have reached the 7,000 employees and delivering to the core of the designs that we have done. So that's been a constant thing that, I have encouraged and also followed myself. Question everything that they say it's not possible. Question why not. And accept sometimes. We'll have to accept the reality, but, that questioning itself can trigger many ideas. And embracing challenges, right? One thing that I always tell my team is the only failure that you can face is giving up an opportunity for the fear of failure. This is one thing that I've observed a lot more in women, where we tend to be very skeptical about our own abilities. We want everything lined up before we say yes to a new opportunity. I also want to remind, these opportunities come in very small windows. Many times there's not a whole lot of time for you to think, oh, can I do it? Is everything aligned for me? Can I really work? I don't want to get a bad name. I don't want to fail. So this fear kind of takes away, that aggressive nature of, wanting can-do attitude, right? So do not wait too long to make a decision. When a new challenge you're faced with a new challenge, look at it as an opportunity, because that's what really, the way you take on your challenges, the way you find solutions is what defines you as a leader or as an individual or even as an individual contributor. So embracing your challenges is a hugely important leadership trait. And playing to your strengths, right? This is also something that I've learned kind of a bit in a hard way. At AMD or in any other place, companies that I've worked, women have been a minority. Minority is kind of an understatement where, I would pretty much be the only woman in the entire room of hundreds of men. So it was difficult for me to keep up my individuality, right? Women, as a woman, I have my traits, I bring in my strengths, But when there is no one to really look up to, when there are no role models, when you're the only person, there's a tendency to get swayed by what the majority of the people are doing. Oh, I talk like a man, I wave like a man. I mean, it's so easy to get carried away with that. But there have been times when I've actually introspected, what is my strength? What do I stand for? I mean, what is the special thing that I can bring? So you should never be afraid or hesitant or even think that it's not a good thing to exhibit your emotions, right? I mean, as a woman or as a leader, my nature is I'm sensitive, I'm emotional, and I'm absolutely proud of it because there is a huge value you bring in. That caring nature, it comes automatically, right? Someone's not well. The first thing I ask when they come back to work is, hey, how are you doing? That's not a common thing for many, right? I don't get on to task, boom, boom, boom. Where is your project? How is your status? No, I can always do that. But there has to be a humane angle to everything. And that's what I feel is one of my strengths, where I bring in that humane angle. I bring in that, care and that special, energy that it's a maternal instinct. So I don't want to lose that. I'm not ashamed of it. And I'm proud to use that when I need to use it. So playing to your strength is a hugely important trait. And leadership, I mean, we deal with human beings who are extremely complex, and each one of us have our individual traits. We believe we are special. We stand for something, right? And a general blanket statement about a team or the style of leadership will never work. You have to closely observe your team. You have to observe every individual who is reporting or being part of your team. And you have to customize your style of leadership to what they need. It's not how you are, it's about what they need and how you can make a connect with them. So, I mean, in my staff, there are people who actually take the tough message really well. I mean, I can just go shout at them and tell them, look, this is something that's absolutely important. You better get it done. And they're fine with it. If I use the same tone to another person, that person will probably, cry or just walk out of the room howling. So I have to customize. I have to look at the needs of the individual and accordingly change my style. And also situations. There are many situations that get created. It's a complex world with humans out there. There are many situations. And no matter what your internal style is, I mean, for example, I like to be calm. I like to be nice. I like to give people the time they need to think, their space. But, projects, company schedules don't align with that all the time. There are times when I have to come out of my comfort zone and say, guys, you have to get it done within the time. I don't care what happens, right? Just get it done. If it means working over the weekends, absolutely. That's a commitment we all have for the organization. So, I mean, these are some things where you have to customize and manage the situation. It's situational leadership that becomes very important. And the next one is, I mean, I don't think I need to really preach to this, team here. Upskilling and raising the bar, right? We don't get stagnated. We have to keep upskilling. I mean, especially in today's world where technology is hugely changing. Every year there is a new thing. Last year it was, high performance computing for us now. This year it's AI. Everywhere it's about AI. And AI itself is such a broad thing, topic as such, and it actually touches every aspect of what we do. So every few months or years, your technology is changing and you end up being in an inflection point where if you are not upskilled, if you are not ready for the change, you will of course be left behind. And also you gain the respect of your teams if you are on top of your technical thing. I mean, for me, it's not that I don't trust my team. I have worked with them for many years. I trust them 100%. But I have to know, that whatever they're saying is the right thing. And there's no scope of missing out an opportunity where we can optimize better or we can get it earlier or do a better job in the quality. So all of these have to be encompassed when you look at your upskilling, where you stand. Have I taken a new course? And today's world, there are plenty of opportunities. There are platforms, online, courses that you can constantly use to upskill yourself. Doing the right thing. I mean, this is kind of, it's a all pervasive thing. It's not just with your engineering work or scientific research. It's really what you stand for in terms of ethics or the values that you bring in. And as a leader, if you know this is what you stand for, if your team knows what you stand for, that respect and the recognition that the team gives you is huge. They know they have a leader who will never compromise on ethics or the values or principles. The kind of environment that gets created within your team is so positive, and you should never let go of that. As a leader, I'm an engineering leader, but I've had many situations with employees that kind of came as a shock. Oh my God, as a leader, I have to deal with all these things. Oh my God. I mean, as an example, there was an employee, a very talented employee who had been with us for many years, and unfortunately, he was slammed a criminal case by someone within the family who was very vindictive. We knew the reasons behind it, and it was not really something that the employee had done. We had worked with him for 6-7 years, and of course we had police coming into AMD campus, which was a big shocker, okay, and they started asking for my name, the HR head's name, and we had to sit down with them, answer questions for a couple hours. It was almost like an interrogation, right? I was like, what the hell is happening? Why am I dealing with this as an engineering leader? But soon we realized that, the option as per the rule book was really to let go of that employee till this case was resolved and not really keep him within AMD. That was what was written. But, we felt the HR partner was also with me. We were aligned. It just felt unfair to penalize an employee as such. He's going through a very hard time with this vindictive behavior, and then if we let go, he's going to lose that thing that he has held so close to and has been contributing. So we stood strong. We said, no, we are not terminating. Let the proceedings happen. We can maybe ask him to go on a leave of absence or something, or do part-time or whatever, but we will not terminate this employee until a decision is made that he is actually proven guilty. So this took a lot of convincing the corporate, but we were very clear, we want to support this person. And to God's grace, everything went so well. The case was withdrawn after a few months, and the employee continues to be part of AMD even today. So it's really about what you believe in, what you stand for, and what you believe is the right thing. The focus can never go away on doing the right thing. A culture of innovation and inclusive growth, hugely important for any growing organization. Innovation is the backbone of growth for any industry. And in the semiconductor industry that I come from, we are constantly at an inflection point every couple years. There's a new technology that's all pervasive and kind of changes the way we think and do things. So you have to foster that innovative culture within your team. There should not be any fear to present a new idea. There should not be any hesitation to, question some of the ideas that are presented. So that's the culture of innovation you build. And also inclusive growth. I don't need to talk about, women leadership, more women coming into, and also just, it's not just gender, right? It's about every person has the right to speak up, should be able to present his or her idea to the table, bring it to the table, discuss, and then take it forward. So that's the culture we all as leaders need to focus on bringing in. The next one is a little bit of a difficult one, influencing without authority. I think this more of applies to your peer group. It's always easier to manage a team, right? You have that authority, they listen to you. It's much easier to get that alignment. And your bosses, you are anyways aligned to your bosses. So it's a easier alignment that you get. But what is most difficult is that middle band out there, your peer group. They have no reason to accept you as a great leader. They have no reason to say yes to everything every idea that you present. It's something that you have to invest and earn. So influencing without authority was an opportunity that I got. We had something called the India Leadership Team. It's a team of VPs and senior leaders in AMD India who come together to manage things within the India region. But when I was asked to lead that team of leadership, the rest of them were all from my peer group. I mean, they had no reason to believe that I was a better leader than themselves, right? So it was something that was given to me without an authority. So I had to play this convincing role of, hey, how can we do this together? It was like one team. Let's do this together. Let's talk about this together. So it was a very different approach that I had to take. But within a couple months of this approach, it started yielding results. I mean, we felt like we were one leadership team. We had set a common goal to take India to the next level. So it kind of beautifully aligned to an extent that today, within AMD, the region India has become a role model for every other regional center. How the leadership works, how we take the regional factors into account and take AMD India forward has truly become a template for other design centers to follow. And the last one is, again, being humble and open. I honestly don't see any other way. As you move up, as you become more responsible for your team, or as you start moving up the ladder, you start seeing a bigger picture with everything. Of course, as a leader, you lose the privilege of whining and complaining, and you take ownership, right? But in terms of humility, I just constantly feel when I see someone making a statement, oh, he got promoted to this level and he's become extremely cocky, or I don't get that, because honestly, as you are elevated, as you move up, you only can understand how much more is there for you to learn and how much you really don't know. So it's an automatic process that keeps you humble all the time. So it's a reminder to ourselves that we have to constantly, give. Are we, doing everything that we can within our limits? And have I put in enough efforts to really understand what's happening? So every time you ask that question, there is so much more, and there are so many people that you learn from. So I don't see any other way than, it's a constant reminder of, how humility and being humble is always a requirement for you to be open and to learn, continue to learn. So those were few of the learnings that I have got in my 25, 30 years of experience. I've been in leadership positions for about 15 years now. So I hope there was something that you could take home relating to what I talked. And thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. And I thoroughly enjoyed this interaction. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your speech on tenets of leadership. And we could hear it in your sweet and melodious voice. That was still good. And I'd like to compliment that none of us would believe that you are mother of 2 doctors, including a son-in-law. Okay, now. As you are aware, CSIR-4PI Institute is a young and vibrant organization committed to promoting mathematical modeling and data-driven culture across CSIR and accelerate the pace of discovery in the areas of interest to CSIR. Our mission is to develop knowledge products in earth science, engineering and information sciences for societal good by exploiting modeling, simulation and data science capabilities. And madam, I'd like to just add one more thing. The quality of leadership with my head madam, once when I initially joined, during one of our WhatsApp messages, I just told, ma'am, it's really, I'm very proud that I'm working under you. So she corrected it. No, Ramni, it is not working under. it's working together. So that really shows her leadership quality, and I was really happy to see that. Thank you, ma'am. And our madam does ask, why not? So she has got all the leadership quality with her, ma'am. Now I request our head ma'am to deliver the presidential address, please.
Yeah, good morning, and it's my privilege to be here today. And warm welcome to Country Head AMD, our chief guest, Jaya Jagdish, and then our COA Mangala. I think this will be her last Foundation Day function because she is superannuating. And all my colleagues here, the former heads and emeritus scientists, to all of them, my Foundation Day wishes, heartfelt Foundation Day wishes to all of you. So before I start the formal lecture, I would want to actually say that, I was wanting to have Jaya Jagdish as chief guest for a long time. It's and we tried for many occasions, 1 week, one lab, before that, so many. Then this time I said, this year we have to have her, and this is the one function, formal function, which is left in this year. The others are there, but they're not that formal. So I told we will have it on a date when she's available. It does not matter. So that's how and it's real pleasure to have her here and listen to her on the tenets of leadership and her journey. Yeah, whenever you listen to some leader's journey, then your journey comes in a flash, but then I don't want to go details of it. Only thing is they're kind of quite dissimilar because I stayed through and through in India with the masters from IISc and PhD engineering. I was the only girl in my class everywhere. It didn't matter because I am basically a reserved person, so I don't much talk. I don't need any company, so I'm fine. So I had no issues being the only girl. So it was nice, and the journey was tough because being in government in India, it's really hard. So it's tough. It's been a very tough journey, but then it's okay. At the end of the day, everything evens out, and here that's why I said it's my privilege to be standing here. And I also would want to mention that I took charge as head CSIR-4PI 2 years back on the foundation day of CSIR, that is 26 September 2021. That time the foundation day was being celebrated because our additional charge was NAL director. So the foundation day was being celebrated around 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the NAL campus together, both NAL and 4PI. So I took my appointment came at 12:30. Then NAL director said, you come and join. So I went at 1:30. I was so unsure of myself because he was my boss before I took charge from him, because I was a scientist here through and through. So I took charge, and then he said, okay, come, let's go to foundation day function. So I went there. So I was sitting in the front row. He was in the dais. So I thought that day that next foundation day I'll do it at 4PI. So last year we did the foundation day at 4th Paradigm. This is the second one. So coming to CSIR Foundation Day, actually I am very proud to be part of CSIR family, because I see there's a kind of oneness and commitment. CSIR was established pre-independence in 1942, 26th September is when it was established. Recently the MP from that young BJP MP from South Bangalore, Tejasvi Surya, he in the parliament to answer to one of the questions, he told how CSIR was formed, when it was formed, everything, who were the people who were responsible for it, etc. So it featured in the parliament this thing also. So it was formed with 5 laboratories in 1942 pre-independence. So it was, I think, National Physical, National Metallurgical, then National Chemical Laboratory, then Suman's Lab, CGCRI, Glass and Ceramics, and Fuel Research Institute. These were the 5 labs which have, and from then to now we have grown like to 37 labs and several outreach centers and 3 units. So we are one of the 37 labs of CSIR. So from then to now, CSIR has been committed towards giving to the society. Like when we started, the oldest inventions like NPL is the timekeeper of India. It maintains the Indian Standard Time. So they have a laboratory. I had gone there to see. So it's really nice to see how they do that. And then NPL also, I think, gave that indelible ink which we use for voting and all that. And then, as you all know, the Mysore lab CFTRA was behind the Amul milk infant food, and like that we have so many things to our credit, and we always worked for the society because the CSIR stands for Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. So that is how, and we work in wide variety, like starting from nanotechnology to medical research to drug discovery to engineering. We are, I think, some 8 to 9 engineering labs. So all aspects of road research, building research, and electronics, everything we cover. So it's a organization which covers the spectrum, like wide spectrum of research, both scientific and industrial research. So I thought today is our foundation day, CSIR Foundation Day. So I thought, because this is the vision which our DG, Dr. N. Kalleselvi put for CSIR at 2030. Basically, I just want to read the first line. It says, enhance quality of life of the citizens of India through innovative science and technology. So that is what we are doing actually. We've been doing and we are doing. So that is what was put as a vision 2030 in the last directors conference. So, and CSIR, since it is a government organization, it's always aligned with the mission of government because the Honorable Prime Minister is our president and the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, is our vice president. So, it's all the goals are aligned with our Honorable Prime Minister. So, our society is chaired by Honorable Prime Minister. So, we have society meetings typically once or twice in a year where he comes out with a, like last time he came out with a 10-point formula on what all things we have to do, and soon after that it will be followed by directors conference where we decide what should be done. So that is how so that is the reason I said I think everyone in the CSIR should be proud to be part of CSIR in some fashion or other. So for last 2 years we have been having the foundation day at Delhi because the minister feels that we should do September 26th at Delhi, all the labs come together. But last year the span was very less, but this year what we did was we had a decadal achievements exhibition in Delhi in Pragati Maidan, and then we had the function in that Bharat Mandapam in Pragati Maidan on 26th. So we were all there. So after coming back from there, each lab is doing the foundation day on one of the days of their choice. So it's going on at all the labs. We chose this day because we could get our chief guest to be here. So that's how we came, and as I said, she also said about leadership. So I thought before I go to Fourth Paradigm Institute, I'll say a few words. See, one thing is there's 3 points which I thought is that you should always try, never give up, even though you may not get the result, but at least try towards what you, once your clarity is there, this is what I wanted to achieve for an institute or an organization or anything, you have to try at all points till the last, never give up. So that has been in the last 2 years my thing. At least at the end of the day, maybe I do not get the desired result, but at least end of the day I feel I tried. That is one thing which is very this thing. So I think for past 2 years, I must say that we could do clear. See, when we were established in 2013 as a lab, we had some issues to be sorted out. So which were like taking lot of so many years, but then we almost like did most of the things, and now I'm very proud to say that Fourth Paradigm Institute is on its path of immense growth and towards fulfilling its objective. See, traditionally we were a center for mathematical modeling and computer simulation, which was established on 15th July 1988. So it was a center, it was not a lab. So we were directly under headquarters, and but the location was given as here NAL, under the, and administrative infrastructure support was given by NAL, and directly it was a center under the leadership of DG. Traditionally, that's how we were formed in 1988. And it so happens, again, one more coincidence, I joined CSIR service on that day, but not in this center, but in Central Building Research Institute. I am originally a civil engineer, that's why I was a single person in the class, single woman. So soon, soon after my master's from IISc, I joined CBRI, that is Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee. So that is where my CSIR journey started. So it's same age as the age of this institute. Then in 2013, when the visionaries who were there that time, they decided that we should venture, CSIR should venture into data science. So this is the right opportune moment. So they repositioned our center as a full-fledged institute, basically a data science institute, and the name with the name Fourth Paradigm Institute. Basically, fourth paradigm is the fourth paradigm of science, which is data science. So traditionally, from the time we were established from 1988, we have been hosting supercomputing facility for the whole of CSIR as a center also, and we continue to do that till date. So recently also we have refreshed our system to cater to the needs of CSIR. So traditionally we were very strong as a center in earth and engineering sciences domain expertise. It so happened the projects we got, the scientists who got recruited, domain expertise was more, because it started in 1988 in earth and engineering sciences. So when I took charge, I kind of organized the institute into two divisions: earth and engineering sciences, data sciences, and supercomputing division. So these are the two scientific divisions we have, other than technical management division, where all our skill development, Jigyasa, school children, web services, then PA project monitoring division, etc. come under technical management division. So the earth and engineering sciences division basically focuses on research, mainly research, grant-in-aid research, and also for CSIR research in natural hazards, then in climate change and impact of climate change, ocean modeling, etc. In natural hazards, we mainly focus on seismic hazard and extreme rainfall events and extreme heat events, all those things. We give prediction like 48 hours, 72-hour prediction for extreme rainfall and heat events. So all these things. So excellent work we have done, though our strength is very less. Like in that division, we have around, right now it has dwindled, I think, to 20. We are recruiting now. Our interviews start from October 27th. So though the strength was less, I think we have several awards. The scientists, because the kind of niche expertise we have, they got INSA Young Scientist Award, CSIR Young Scientist Award. Then we have Bhatnagar, the National Geoscience Award, National Mineral Award, and several state awards like CV Raman Award, and few more awards. So it's a proud thing that when CSIR completed 80 years, that was in 1942, so 2022 was the 80 years of, so we celebrated the 80th year. So I am happy, out of 80 success stories that CSIR showcased as part of 80 years, our work on disaster management, synthesis of modeling, measurements, and data analytics was chosen as one of the success stories, and it was showcased. So that was a very nice thing. For being such a small lab, we are at least recognized as one of the 80 success stories of CSIR, which was a very good thing. And data science and supercomputing division as such, one is we host a supercomputing facility. As you all know, right now we refreshed the new computing facility, which was inaugurated recently by DG CHAMP, which is a 2 petaflops traditional computing, and then I think 12 nodes of AI computing. Before that, actually, I think in 2020-21 period, AMD donated 1.2 petaflops of GPU computing to CSIR. So it was also mentioned in the New Year address of DG, the then DG Shekhar Mande, as one of the main things that happened during that year. See, every year the New Year address, DG tells what all the main achievements stories of CSIR. So in that time it was mentioned as one of the achievements. That time I was a scientist here, so I remember. So the machine, after I took charge, then it was given for 2 years for COVID research. So there was a committee in which our former head was there, and it was used very successfully 2 years for all researchers for COVID. And now we have opened it after 2 years to the full of CSIR. Now it runs 100%. Actually, the requirement is much more than what we right now had. So including that 1.2 petaflops in the new system, total I think we have 4.2 petaflops of supercomputing. Then we also have a cybersecurity research program and domain agnostic AI ML program in our fourth paradigm institute. So the domain agnostic AI ML, we work for the AI mission of CSIR, and currently we have 2 projects. One to generate synthetic database, Aadhaar database with UDIA as stakeholder, and one is vehicular testbed with Cognizant as the stakeholder. So those are, and then we have also now proposed for the next financial year AI mission project involving the whole of all the CSIR labs. So basically it is for capacity capability building in AI and ML and all the labs of CSIR. As of now, there are some 10 to 15 labs who have got an AI presence, but the remaining do not. So the whole idea is that by next year, if we start the project by the end of 2 years, that is if we start in the financial year April 2024, by the time it ends a 2-year project, most of the labs will have the capability and of AI ML, and the infrastructure would be hosted here, including cloud computing. So that is the proposal which we have put to our DG recently. So that is on the AI ML. And in the cybersecurity research, we received recently, and there was an article in Deccan Herald also on the front page on a network telescope feed for cyber threat intelligence. It is given by MIT, the project. It's around 3+ crore project, and it's basically we have a cybersecurity testbed and the network telescope deployed. So we give the feed for threat intelligence. As this is one of the nodes that go to CERT-In and NCCC for cybersecurity surveillance. So this is one of the flagship this thing, and we also received recently mission mode project from CSIR around, I think it's 25 crores. Yeah, and it is on region specific agro technologies for soil and plant health. So this, we are the nodal agency. There are under 10 CSIR labs which are working on it. So this is a very for 4PI, it's a flagship project, because getting a mission mode project from CSIR is really tough. So that is one of our biggest achievements we have, and we are also two of our climate scientists with domain expertise in climate modeling. They are part of Center of Excellence for Extreme Climates, which is being set up by IIT Mumbai. Actually, it is a Center of Excellence of AI ML for extreme climates. But then there we are not contributing on the AI ML, we are contributing towards the domain expertise from our domain climate modeling, who are very good in physics of climate modeling. So these are the 3 flagship projects in the recent times we have, and I do hope our remaining scientists also are trying to get few more projects, because we work on a project mode usually. So 2 more projects and align to the vision of whatever has been laid down by the Honorable Prime Minister. So this is about a nutshell of what CSIR-4PI is doing. I think I have exceeded my 10-minute time. Anyway, that is this thing, and it was once again, I must say thank you all for your patience listening to me. Actually, we do have a video, but then I thought our people are tired seeing it, because we had this 1 week 1 lab program, so every event we had to play that. So I thought this time I will myself give the brief about, instead of playing the video. Maybe that is available on YouTube, can be seen. So with these few words, I once again would like to emphasize that I am so privileged to be here on the 82nd Foundation Day of CSIR as head of this for me it is a very loved institute, because I started working from 1993 here, and I've been here for so many years, and I feel honored that I was given this opportunity so that I can develop this institute, and it gives me immense satisfaction now when I look down 2 years that I have done whatever I wanted to do for the institute, for the growth of the institute, and whatever, and tried to solve all the issues plaguing the institute and put it in a platform where it can now, we can proudly say we are a fourth paradigm institute basically. So I am happy that I could do all that, and I am also happy I was given this opportunity. Like she said, if I was not the head, I couldn't have done anything. I would have just retired like any other chief scientist, but since it so happened that I got this position, I could contribute to this institute. So when I superannuate, I would go with a very proud feeling that I contributed to this institute, not only as a scientist but as a leader of this institute. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for throwing a glimpse of CSIR as well as the achievements, awards, flagship programs of CSIR. Ma'am, as you are proud to be as the head of our institute, we are equally proud to have you as our head and happy to work under you, ma'am. As in the past, as you all know, CSIR employees who retire and superannuation are felicitated on the occasion of CSIR Foundation Day. Today, we have this year 3 of our employees who retired on superannuation. I request our chief guest to kindly felicitate them with a shawl and a watch. I think Miss Sita, she's not there with us. Okay. And Dr. Himesh is also, maybe long weekends they would have planned somewhere and gone. Okay. We have with us Mr. Chandrasekhar Bhatt. I request him to please come forward. He joined us as driver during May 1990 and he retired in the month of June 2023. Mr. Bhatt, please come forward. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, only one by one.
Thank you, ma'am. CSIR also felicitates the employees who have completed 25 years of service. And this year, we have one employee, Mr. Prabhu, who has joined in the year 1998 and completed 25 years of service. I request our chief guest to do the honor by giving a watch for him.
You also got the best employee
Of
award
this year.
for designing our intranet page.
Congratulations. Well, for the awards of CSIR employees, meritorious students awards are being awarded to students securing admissions outside. So this year we have Mr. Leander V. Felix, son of Srimati Stella Margaret, who have got admission in Indian Institute of Management at Ranchi for MBA. And he is eligible for a scholarship of 1,500 rupees per month, which will be there for 2 years. So I request our chief guest to felicitate with a certificate for, I think, yeah. Leander Felix is not here, so I request Stella. Mom can receive on behalf of.
All mom's effort only.
Please convey our best wishes.
Thank you, ma'am. Be seated. Now we have come to the end of the program, and I request our COA, ma'am, Mrs. Mangla, to please propose vote of thanks.
Good morning to all of you. I am privileged to propose vote of thanks on the 82nd Foundation Day celebrations of CSIR. In the first instance, I would like to thank head CSIR-4PI for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, madam. I thank Dr. Gopalakrishna Patra, Chief Scientist, for introducing the chief guest to the audience. I thank Ms. Jaya Jagdish, Country Head AMD India, for her wonderful lecture on the tenets of leadership. Thank you, madam. Thank you. I thank Mrs. Sridevi Jade, Head CSIR-4PI, for her presidential remarks. I thank the retiree, Mr. Chandrasekhar Bhatt of CSIR-4PI, for attending the program and accepting the mementos. Thank you, sir. I also thank Mr. Prabhu for accepting the memento on his completion of 25 years of service in CSIR. I congratulate Mr. Leander Felix, son of Srimati Stella Margaret, employee of CSIR-4PI, for securing admission in Indian Institute of Management, Ranchi, for MBA program through CAT. I thank his mother for accepting the memento on his behalf. I thank one and all for their contributions to make this program a success. Thank you all once again. Now I request our madam to present a memento to the chief guest, Mrs. Jaya. Thank you, madam.
जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे